I never heard of a co-op until I wound up on Mount Lemmon trying to build a ski area. It's a pretty arduous job being up on a mountaintop 30 miles away from any kind of a city. And so you're really at the end of the line, so to speak, and you appreciate the electricity and the service that a company like Trico was able to provide. Once I got involved with Trico, then you start being impressed with the other directors, the people you work with, the management, the linemen. I mean, top to bottom, it just was a very rewarding experience. And to see how they performed in situations where the members were in need during the floods of 83 and 93, the forest fires that we had on Mount Lemmon 10, 12 years ago, which were devastating to the community, and the way Trico responded to that, and the other co-ops around the state, the other utilities even around the state. It was just inspiring to see. My impression the first time I was elected to the board, the very first meeting, I was really impressed with the people that Trico had on its board. This was the kind of people that I think you want to associate with. At Trico, you have direct input. You can run for the board yourself, or you can help somebody else run for the board. And that person will speak for you and your community as to what he thinks about the rates or what he thinks you think about the rates, or any other feature, solar power, you name it, and you will be involved in the co-op just by being a member and living there. You can be assured that your board of directors and your manager are trying to keep that bill as low as they can, not to make a profit for the stockholder, but to keep a good, reliable, low expensive cost of electricity to you. Anybody who's interested in running for the board, I would recommend it. It can be a very good way to spend time if you have the time to do it. And if you have more than one day a month, you can really get involved and serve on lots of committees and become quite active.
My name is Barbara Stockwell, and I'm on the board of directors of Trico Electric Cooperative, and I have been on the board for, about 35 years. I represent all the really most rural areas of the Trico Cooperative, distribution area. Trico serves where nobody else would serve, and we're just so happy down here along the Mexican border to have electric power, and it's reliable power too. And if something goes wrong, like a lightning strike, Trico employees are out on the road to fix it. And so I've been a happy Trico consumer for actually very close to 60 years. Trico is really, really special to me because I was in Arivaca before there was electricity. We were camping out in the hills, we came to a little store, and they had generators, but they didn't have electricity. And then I was so blessed when I did marry into Arivaca and move. The electricity had come to Arivaca like 2 years before. So it was new. I mean, the glow was still in the light bulb, so to speak. It's always been part of my life now, my adult life. I was not quite 40 when I was elected to the board, and I'm considerably older now. I really think that you're more like a family in Trico because where we are, the people are so spread out that you get to know people better. It's not like on a city street or a town street where you have maybe 40 families on a half a mile or something. We serve those small towns all over the entire United States. Huge percentage of the landmass of the United States is rural electric cooperative country. And those people are just like the people in Arivaca and Sassafras. They're country people and they like each other, take care of each other, and it's family.
My name is Deborah Grider, and I own the Sassafras store, and I have the mesquite firewood and the adobe brick. Not everybody can live here, and people that are here are basically really nice people and very down to earth, old school. very old school. And people, I still do credit, you know, sometimes people come in and they don't have enough money, oh, just charge it, you know. You can't do that in the big city anymore. Since my grandfather got Trico to come down here and service the area, I don't know if it was probably 55, 57 in that time frame. It was my grandfather, then it was my mother, Alice Nagy, and now myself, Deborah. It's great when you have people that you know, and every one of my customers. We've known each other 2, 3, and sometimes 4 generations. I don't think Sassabee would exist if we didn't have electricity today, honestly.
I am Pamela Harmon. I am the postmaster here at the Mount Lemmon Post Office. I've come up here and there's snow up to your waist, and these guys have been out schlepping through an insane amount of snow and just working their rear ends off. It's kind of crazy because it's not to be trifled with. The snow, when it happens, it is a serious issue. The response time has been outstanding. The one bad storm came through and it was an ice storm, and it rained and snowed, and the tree branches froze over, and then they dropped down and made the arc happen between the upper line and the lower line, and those guys had to walk the entire grid. There was a lot of work involved. Dead tree branches, burnt tree branches all over. It was pretty crazy. You like knowing your neighbors. Sometimes you know a little too much about your neighbors and they know a little too much about you. But at the same time, it's gracious and it's glorious. You know, they look out for one another. Everyone who lives rural is there for a reason.
My name is Sally Crom, and I live in Willow Canyon on Mount Lemmon. My grandfather bought his cabin up here in 1957. I also lived up here when I was in high school. I actually learned to drive on this road, so. Throughout that time, we've been members of Trico, that's the electric company up here. We really have never dealt with any other electric company besides Trico. The last storm knocked down just hundreds of trees. That's what was causing all of the power outages. The dispatcher told us that some of the areas they had to go to repair the lines were off the track, and they had to hike in to the lines, and they needed to wait until it was safe for them to do so. So a lot of the area up here, as you can see, very rural, no paved roads. And the power lines run from here, they run into Rose Canyon. I called the dispatcher the next day and just told him how much we appreciated the above and beyond effort that they made. And it was, they were good ambassadors.